Shotguns built their reputation on precision. Italian engineers perfected them over decades. Shooters trusted that name and paid for it. Then Turkish manufacturers entered. They didn't copy Italian shotguns. They improved them. Better engineering, lower prices. Now shooters face a problem. Italian guns cost $2,000. Turkish alternatives cost $500. Same reliability, same accuracy. The difference is price. In this video, we count down 9 Turkish shotguns that made Italian premium pricing impossible to justify. Number 9. Akkar Churchill 612. The pump-action shotgun has dominated American gun safes since the early 1900s. Mossberg and Remington owned this market for over 100 years. You bought a pump gun, you knew what you were getting. Then Akkar showed up from Turkey with the Churchill 612 in 2015. This pump gun costs under $600. Most models retail for $399 to $499. It cycles fast, stays reliable, and doesn't care if you maintain it regularly. Real shooters found this out the hard way. By 2023, gun clubs started seeing Akkar pumps regularly on the range. That shouldn't happen. Mossberg still dominates the pump market overall. Mossberg has 50 years of reputation in America, but Akkar gained strong ground in the budget segment by undercutting Mossberg on price for entry-level buyers. The Churchill 612 works with any 12-gauge round, 3-inch magnums, 2 3/4 shells, even light target loads. It cycles all of them without complaint. The receiver is built from steel. The barrel lock is solid. You can beat this gun up and it keeps running. That's what shooters care about. Not the name on the side, not the finish. Just whether it goes bang every time. Akkar didn't invent anything new with this shotgun. They copied what works. They made it cheaper. They shipped it to America starting in 2013. Suddenly, a pump gun that costs $400 and outperforms a gun costing twice as much started appearing in truck beds across the country. That's disruption in the budget tier. The Churchill 612 became a popular option for hunters and shooters who wanted reliability without paying Mossberg prices. Number 8. Hatsan Escort Magnum. Hatsan is a Turkish company most Americans never heard of. Yet their Escort Magnum semi-automatic became a popular Turkish shotgun in the American market. Hatsan shipped significant volume across the world starting in the 2010s. Law enforcement agencies in multiple countries have used the Escort for training and duty. Police academies in Turkey and other nations adopted it as a practical option. The Escort Magnum costs under $600. Retail prices range from $479 to $569 depending on finish. It's a semi-automatic that chambers 3.5-inch Magnum shells. Big shells mean more power, more recoil, but the Escort absorbs that recoil and keeps working. Hunters found this out in the field during the 2010s. They loaded heavy rounds and the gun cycled without complaint. This shotgun has gas operation. The gas piston drives the bolt backward. This system requires more maintenance than inertia shotguns. You clean a gas gun more often. The Escort just kept running. Hatsan's biggest advantage wasn't technology. It was price combined with availability. You could walk into any sporting goods store by 2014 and buy an Escort for less than the cost of an entry-level Italian semi-auto. That combination changed everything. Suddenly, the premium market had serious competition from a company nobody knew existed. Volume is where Hatsan made its mark. They became a popular budget choice for hunters and shooters. Retailers who once focused on Benelli orders started stocking Hatsan. Not because Hatsan was better, but because customers wanted the same function for 1/3 the price. Number 7. Armsan A612. Armsan started manufacturing shotguns in 2001 in Istanbul. They studied what Beretta did for decades. Beretta perfected the gas-operated semi-automatic shotgun in the 1980s. Their design is bulletproof, rock solid. Hunters trusted Beretta shotguns for generations. Then Armsan looked at that design and asked a simple question in 2008. Why does it cost so much? The Armsan A612 uses the same basic system as a Beretta. Gas piston, rotating bolt, reliable cycling. The A612 costs $500. A comparable Beretta A300 costs over $1,000. You're paying double for the name. The mechanics are almost identical. This isn't a cheap knockoff. Armsan built the A612 with real steel. They machine the parts to tight tolerances. The barrel is drilled straight. The receiver holds the action square. When you put the A612 to your shoulder and pull the trigger, it feels like a serious gun. The balance is right. The recoil is manageable. The trigger breaks clean. Shooters started comparing the A612 to Berettas side by side, beginning in 2016. The function was the same. The reliability was the same. The only difference was price and brand recognition. Gun clubs where shooters used to dominate with expensive Italian shotguns started seeing Armsan guns in winning hands by 2019. Not because the gun was magical, but because a shooter with $2,000 in ammunition could outshoot a shooter with $2,000 in a Beretta. Trigger time beats equipment cost, and now the equipment costs half as much. Number 6. ATA Arms. NEOX ATA Arms was founded in 1997 in Izmir, Turkey. They are a manufacturer that supplies shotguns to global brands. You probably own a shotgun made by ATA without knowing it. By 2015, ATA supplied shotguns to over 40 countries. They manufactured for distributors around the world. Then they decided to sell their own shotguns under the ATA brand in 2017. The NEOX arrived. Everything changed. The NEOX costs $530. Some retailers sell the basic black synthetic version for $499. It's a semi-automatic with inertia operation. That means no gas system underneath the barrel, no piston, no springs in the forend, just a bolt system that uses the gun's recoil to cycle the next round. This system is cleaner. It stays running longer between cleanings. It's simpler. This shotgun uses the same operating principle as a Benelli Super Black Eagle. The SBE costs $2,000. The SBE has been in production since 1988. The NEOX costs $530. As of 2024, you're looking at the same idea priced at 1/4 the cost. That comparison breaks the premium market logic. Shooters who owned Benelli shotguns tested the NEOX starting in 2018. They expected it to be cheap garbage. Instead, they found a gun that balanced like a fine shotgun should. This gun didn't feel like a budget gun. It felt like a real shotgun. The trigger is smooth. The magazine loads easy. The choke system works without getting stuck. All the details that separate a good gun from a great gun were right. A TA paid attention. They didn't just copy Benelli. They built a gun that shoots as good as guns costing 4 times as much. Gun reviewers started posting videos comparing NEOX to Benelli in 2020. Same patterns, same shot placement, same reliability. The only difference was the price tag and the name on the receiver. For people buying their first shotgun or their 5th, the NEOX became the obvious choice. Why spend $2,000 when $500 does the job? Number 5. Huglu 103DE. Over and under shotguns are expensive. A Browning Citori has been the standard since 1973. It costs $1,200 in 2024. A Beretta 686 has been made since 1993. It costs the same. These guns have been top choices for hunters and shooters for decades. They're elegant. They're reliable. The Huglu Hunting Firearms Cooperative was formally established in 1962 by local gunsmiths. They've been in the gun business for over 60 years as a cooperative. The 103DE over-under was introduced in 2008. It represents their answer to Browning and Beretta. It's an elegant gun made from quality steel. The barrels are tight. The 103DE costs $800 to $1,200 depending on finish. You can buy this gun for less than a Citori or close to the same price. When shooters compared them starting in 2015, the Huglu stood up. The trigger breaks clean. The ejectors throw the shells out reliably. The balance is right. The gun swings smooth. The 103DE also offered options that premium brands charged extra for: adjustable stocks, multiple choke systems, different finishes. Huglu gave buyers choices at a base price that was already cheaper than the competition. You could buy a fully customized Huglu for the same money as a basic Satori by 2020. This gun appeared at hunting camps across America starting in 2010. Cowboys in the field, professional hunters, sportsmen who spent their own money on equipment. The Huglu 103DE became the sign of someone who understood value, not the sign of someone who bought guns based on advertising. That distinction matters in the shooting world. Number 4. Retay Masai Mara. Retay Arms was founded in 2006 in Konya, Turkey. They are a newer Turkish company. They started in the budget market. The Masai Mara is their answer to Benelli's inertia shotgun line. It costs less than a Benelli. It shoots like a Benelli. Some shooters argue it shoots better. The Masai Mara uses inertia operation like Benelli, a two-part floating bolt that compresses on recoil and releases the next round as the spring expands. This system was invented in 1905. Bruno Civillani perfected it in 1968. Retay's version costs $799 for the basic synthetic model. Walk up to $1,095 for a walnut-stocked version in 2024. The Masai Mara also solved problems that plagued early Benelli clones starting in 2018. The loading is easier. The bolt closes quieter. The trigger breaks cleaner. Retay didn't just copy Benelli. They built a shotgun informed by studying Benelli's design. Competitive shooters started buying the Masai Mara by 2019. Serious people who shoot thousands of rounds per year. These aren't casual guys buying the cheapest gun. These are people who care about reliability and performance. When a competitive shooter picks a Retay over a Benelli, that's a statement. The forcing cone is elongated to 2.5%. This stretches out the shot transition from the chamber to the barrel. Result: denser patterns by an average of 20%, better performance. The barrel is deep drilled. This creates a smoother internal surface. Smoother surface means less pellet deformation, better shot patterns. Retay didn't just build a cheaper gun, they built a better gun that costs less money. Number 3. Stoeger M3000 M3500. Stoeger was founded in 1824 in New York. It started as a gun retailer, not a manufacturer. Beretta bought Stoeger in 2000. Beretta owns Benelli. Benelli developed the inertia operating system in 1969. Stoeger shotguns are built in Turkey under Beretta ownership using Benelli's inertia system. The result is the M3000 and M3500 introduced in 2012. These shotguns use Benelli's proven inertia system. They're built in Turkey to keep costs down. This created a problem for Benelli. Shooters could buy an M3000 and send it to a gunsmith for custom work and still spend less than a standard M2, or they could buy one M3000 and an M3500 and have the money left over for ammunition and travel to shoot matches. That economic reality changed how people bought shotguns. The M3000 chambers 3-inch shells, the M3500 chambers 3.5-inch shells. Both cycle everything you feed them, both run clean, both last for thousands of rounds without a hiccup. Benelli shooters who switched to Stoeger didn't go back. The gun worked the same. The experience was the same. The price was completely different. Gunsmith shops that specialized in shotgun work started telling customers in 2015, buy a Stoeger, spend the money on quality training. You'll shoot better than someone with an expensive Benelli who shoots less. That's honest advice. That's disruption. That's the death of the premium market as it existed before. 3 gun competitors who couldn't afford Benelli shotguns could afford Stoeger by 2016. Suddenly, competition shooters from poor states were beating shooters from wealthy states. Trigger time mattered. Training mattered. The expensive shotgun didn't guarantee wins. Good shooters with cheaper guns started winning matches consistently by 2020. Benelli's response was to improve their M2 and release higher-end models starting in 2018. But Stoeger owned the middle market, and from the middle market they could win upward. A shooter could start with a Stoeger. Number 2. UTAS UTS-15. Turkish gunmakers didn't just copy the Italians, they innovated. The UTAS UTS-15 is proof. This is a bullpup pump-action shotgun made by UTAS Defense in Turkey. It was designed in 2006 by request from Smith & Wesson. It holds 15 rounds, dual magazine tubes, selectable feed, top Picatinny rail for optics. The gun entered production in 2012. This gun exists because someone in Turkey asked, "How do we make shotguns better?" The UTS-15 costs between $900 and $1,200 depending on finish in 2024. You could buy 3 Akkar pumps for this price, but you'd only get 9 rounds total. The UTS-15 gives you 15 rounds in an 18.5-inch barrel, compact, maneuverable, heavily armed. This shotgun started as a specific request from Smith & Wesson in 2006. They wanted the ultimate police shotgun, less than 30 inches overall, 13 rounds minimum, pump action. UTAS delivered the UTS-15 in 2012. UTAS went a different direction. They invented. The innovation is the dual tubes. 2 magazine tubes sit side by side above the barrel. Each holds 7 rounds. You select which tube feeds or set it to alternate. The selector switch sits on top. You can swap from buckshot to slugs to birdshot without removing the magazine. That tactical flexibility changed everything. Military and police units around the world tested the UTS-15 starting in 2013. It became standard in multiple countries by 2020, not because it was cheapest, but because it solved problems that standard shotguns couldn't address: compact length with full-size capacity. The UTS-15 appeared in competitive 3-gun matches by 2015, home defense setups, professional training courses. It wasn't a Benelli clone, it wasn't a cheaper version of something else, it was something new. That innovation came from Turkey. That fact alone breaks the old market narrative. Number 1. Rock Island VR-80. Rock Island Armory was founded in 1991 in the Philippines. They import the VR-80 from Turkey starting in 2018. It's a semi-automatic shotgun styled like an AR-15, magazine-fed, tactical controls, Picatinny rails for optics and accessories. This gun costs $600 to $800 in 2024. You can buy complete AR platform shotguns for this price. That's the disruption. The VR-80 uses Benelli's choke system now that the patent expired in 2019. It feeds from detachable magazines. The controls are AR style, so military and police-trained people feel at home. The gun runs clean because it uses gas operation. It's adaptable because it's modular. You can change furniture, optics, charging handles. It's a platform, not just a shotgun. By 2018, the VR-80 showed up for 1/4 of that price. This gun solved the modularity problem. You have an AR-15. You want an AR platform shotgun. You don't want to learn a new manual of arms. The VR-80 fixes that. Magazine release in the same place. Safety in the same place. Charging handle location is similar. A shooter familiar with AR-15 can run the VR-80 immediately. The VR-80 changed tactical shotgun buying by 2020. Law enforcement trainers started asking why departments should spend $2,000 on a Benelli when a VR-80 does the same job for $800. The answer was tradition, not technology, not reliability, tradition. That argument doesn't hold water in a budget meeting. Home defense shooters who already owned AR-15 could buy a VR-80 by 2021 and have matching firearms in their safe. Same ammunition compatibility, same magazines with conversion, same manual of arms. That ecosystem thinking came from Turkey. That's sophisticated market analysis. That's why the disruption is real. The Turkish shotgun revolution isn't about making cheaper guns. It's about understanding what shooters actually need and delivering it at a price that makes sense. Italy dominated for 50 years because Italy had the patents and the reputation. Turkey entered because they had the manufacturing and the hunger. Now the market is fractured. Premium brands survive by going ultra-premium. Mid-market brands disappear. Budget Turkish guns dominate. The question isn't whether Turkish shotguns are destroying the premium market anymore. It's whether the premium market can ever rebuild what it lost.